I pulled $91,030 out of my military TSP in order to go all in on real estate in Bryan-College Station, Texas. This was 5 years ago, and I bought 3 fourplex, 12 units with that money. Had I left it in my TSP, it would have grown over the last 5 years to nearly $200,000. But instead, I put it in real estate and grew it to $350,000, a $150,000 increase. And so today I'm going to share with you exactly why I ditched my traditional retirement plan and went all in on Aggie land real estate. I'm going to share with you the one regret that I actually have, and of course, what we've done since buying that 12 unit just 5 years ago. Stay tuned. This is going to be a good one. To understand why I took such a big leap, we got to go back in time, 16 years ago, when I was starting my career as a Marine Corps helicopter pilot. You see, I was a good little financial nerd. I was putting my money into my retirement account, which in this case was the military TSP, the equivalent of a 401k. And I was putting money in every single month and watching this account grow. As the years went on, it accumulated to $90,000. And I was feeling pretty good about that. In fact, based on my nerdisms, I was on track to retire with plenty of money. I was on a traditional retirement track and feeling pretty good about it. But then I got the real estate bug. And no, the first thing I did wasn't to empty my retirement and go all in. I wasn't quite ready for that yet. Instead, when I moved from North Carolina to Texas and sold my North Carolina house, I took the proceeds from that and some savings to go house hack. My wife and I moved into a fourplex. Now, this was my first time really being hands-on owning and managing real estate, and it was pretty eye-opening. But ultimately, I was hooked. We dumped probably $120,000 into this fourplex, taking it from a 1985 deferred maintenance piece of shit to something that we were pretty proud of. Our tenants enjoyed living there. We enjoyed owning it. And that is when opportunity knocked. This was such a great opportunity for us because 3 different stars aligned at the exact same time. For starters, the market was pretty soft back in 2020, a lot like it is today. Specifically back in 2020, there were a lot of multifamily sitting on the market, and I had my eye on these 3 fourplexes on the same street, and they appear to be under market rent. The second star that aligned was my dad had decided he was ready to invest with me and my wife. You see, he had watched all the hard work that we put into that first fourplex. He saw the blood, the sweat, the tears, the struggles, and ultimately our successes, and decided that he wanted to move some of his traditional retirement money into real estate. And the final star that aligned, well, that was my ability to tap into my own retirement savings. You see, this was all happening during COVID, and they passed the CARES Act during COVID, which had a provision that allowed you to tap into your retirement account without any of the fees associated with being a 32-year-old draining their hard-earned retirement. So I did it. I tapped into $91,000 of my retirement money. At this point, I had no other investments or savings. Everything was going into that first fourplex and this next purchase. But it wasn't a decision that I took lightly. In fact, these are the reasons why I chose real estate over a traditional, comfortable, predictable, if you will, retirement path. There are 5 reasons why I chose Bryan-College Station real estate over a traditional retirement plan. And the first reason is pretty simple. We're talking about College Station, the home of Texas A&M. Guys, this is the 2nd largest university in the nation with over 75,000 students, a stadium, Kyle Field, that holds 102,000 people. This is a huge driver of our local economy. And at first I thought, hey, that's probably not good. Isn't there a risk in having a single driver for your economy? And originally, or on the surface, you would think yes, but because the university, A, has such a loyal alumni base and it feeds all of the industries, it is pretty recession resistant. And I really like that. The second reason I chose Bryan-College Station real estate is, well, just how consistent this market has been. You see, people might say that real estate is risk, and they're not wrong. There's a lot of risk in real estate, but I can mitigate that risk by choosing a market that has a history of steady appreciation. And when I look back at the last 20, 30, 40 years here in Bryan-College Station, what I learned is that there weren't many highs and lows. It was a steady appreciating market with a steady growing population and a strong economy throughout the whole history. So not only is it strong today, but it has a history of being strong. And those are the first 2 reasons that made it a no-brainer to choose Bryan-College Station. The third reason is probably more of a personality flaw than anything else. Guys, I like to have control over my investment. The idea that I was pumping money into the TSP, which in this case, I was investing in the C fund, the common stock fund, which is kind of the equivalent of an S&P 500. But I had no control over A, what companies I was investing in, what those companies were doing. I couldn't improve those companies. I couldn't drive any value. I didn't have any control, and I'm a guy who likes to be hands-on. So I feel a lot better with my money in a fourplex, where I know I can improve the units, I know I can drive rents, and I can pick what tenants live in it. Ultimately, I have full control over my destiny, and maybe that's good, maybe it's bad. Maybe I'm not as smart as the CEOs that are running the companies in the S&P 500, but personally, I felt better knowing I was controlling my future. The fourth reason is taxes. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of tax advantages to a traditional 401k, Roth 401k, IRA, and everything else. But what I like is the flexibility and just the number of options that came with real estate. I mean, for starters, if you live in a house for 2 years, you can completely eliminate capital gains tax. That's huge. Or if it's an investment property, you can sell in 1031, deferring those taxes. Or you can use a accelerated depreciation and ultimately cost segregation to decrease your taxable income. These are all just amazing options. We don't have time to go into all of them in this video. Maybe I'll do a video on this later on, but taxes were a big reason why I chose real estate. The last reason is pretty simple. I like profitable exit strategies. The more, the better. And when you buy real estate, if you buy it right and you buy it smart, there's a lot of options. You can pivot to short-term rentals. You can flip it. You can take on a partner. You can refinance. You can 1031 exchange. You can flat out sell the thing. The point is there's a lot of opportunities to have a profitable exit on real estate, whereas if you invest in a traditional retirement plan, you're putting all your money in the S&P 500 through an index fund, you really can only hold on as the market does its crazy roller coaster ride, or sell, which can often be the worst case scenario. And this comes back to my days as a helicopter pilot, because I was constantly thinking about where I could safely land the aircraft in the case of an emergency. You see, the best spot to be in is when you had multiple landing zones in front of you. And so I like to be in a position where I can have multiple profitable exit strategies for my investments. Despite all the pros, I do have a major regret in my decision to go all in on real estate. You see, my life is way more complex and I have a lot more responsibility than I would had I stuck to a traditional retirement plan. You see, when you put money into a retirement account, you kind of put it in and you forget about it. You ride the roller coaster, but that's about it. When you buy real estate, you're now responsible to all those tenants to provide them a safe place to live. And of course, there's the complexities. I choose to self-manage because, well, I think you get outsized returns, but with that comes the complexities of making all the repairs, filling the vacancies, and everything else that comes with being a property manager. For me though, it's been worth it. On a purely financial standpoint, I increased my initial investment of $94,000 to an equity position today of $350,000. Had I left that same amount of money in the TSP for the last 5 years, it would have grown to $197,000. I increased my net worth by $150K more by taking on this responsibility and complexity. But there's more than just that. We were able to renovate 8 of the units, ultimately increasing the quality of these buildings. We turned 4 of them into Airbnbs, where we now provide a great place for people to stay when they visit Texas A&M. Besides just that, we were able to grow the portfolio, and with the knowledge I learned on these 12 units, the next 6 were more profitable. I since bought a triplex that's only a mile from campus that people love to rent out. I bought a duplex from a relationship that I built up that was a 1% turnkey rule. In Bryan-College Station, a 1% rule. Bought it for less than $300K, it rents out for $1,500 per side. And finally, I bought a great owner financed deal, single family house that is, we purchased it for like $135, it's worth like $225 today. The point is, I learned a lot over the time period with those 12 units, and I've since applied it to continue to grow my portfolio and ultimately my retirement through the process. But this is the best part of the whole thing. Since taking on those 12 units, I've grown the Schwartz Realty Group, and I've taken all that experience to help other people do the same. Despite buying those 12 units in 6 cents, that pales in comparison to the amount of people we've helped as clients. We've helped people buy dozens of duplexes, some as much as $70,000 under their market value. I've helped people get invested, get started in real estate through house hacking. People literally buying their first ever house and choosing to buy a duplex over a single family house, and that is super powerful for their future wealth. And I also help parents make the choice to invest rather than throw money away in rent as their students attend A&M and earn their Aggie ring. Guys, all of this has completely changed my life. And so had I stuck to that traditional retirement plan, I don't think that we'd be where we are today with our portfolio and our business. So in that regard, under that metric, it is 10x what I would have seen in terms of staying the traditional approach. And for that reason, I will never look back about the decision to empty $91,000 out of my retirement account and go all in on real estate. If you want to learn more about real estate here in Bryan-College Station, you need to subscribe to this channel. Check out this video right here.